All right, so now let's look at how to multiply and how to divide functions. So if you look at part A, it says f, this is time, so this is f times g of x. So again, we're using this concept of I have a function, and a function you can kind of think of as like a separate thing. And I'm taking one function, and I'm going to multiply it by another function. So this says f times g of x. I like to translate that to just simply taking f of x, and I'm going to multiply it by g of x. Those two things mean the same thing. So really all I'm doing is I'm going to take f of x and I'm going to multiply it by g of x. So I'm going to do a little substitution here. I'm going to see that f of x is 4x squared minus 2x plus 3. So 4x squared minus 2x plus 3. And I'm going to multiply that by g of x. And g of x is negative x plus 5. So I'm going to multiply those two things. I'm going to put parentheses around those things. And you can multiply this. You can use the box method. You can just distribute. So I'm just going to go ahead and distribute this. So I'm going to take 4x squared, and I'm going to multiply that to the two terms in here. Remember, when we multiply any two terms, that if they have the same variables, we're going to add the exponents. So 4x squared times negative x, that's going to be negative 4x cubed. Then we're going to take 4x squared times 5, so that's going to be 20 plus 20x squared. Then we're going to keep on going. So we're going to take 2x and distribute that. So negative 2x times 5, negative 2x times negative x, which is plus 2x squared, and then negative 2x times 5, so that's minus 10x. And then lastly, we'll take the last term 3, and we're going to distribute that into the second parentheses as well. So that'll give us a minus 3x and a plus 15. So really, we've done these types of problems before, where we just take a polynomial and we multiply it by another one. And we just kind of have to understand what this notation means. We're just taking functions and we're multiplying the functions. Okay, we still have to clean this up and we have to combine our like terms. So let's go ahead and do that. So our final answer would be negative 4x cubed. And then we have 22 x squares, and we have negative 13 x's, and we have plus 15. So our final answer is right there, and that is what f times g of x. So this reads, again, this reads as f times g of x. All right, so that's how we multiply. Now let's go to the bottom, the next problem, which is a division problem. So we're just saying f divided by g of x. Okay, so as you can imagine, we're going to go ahead and take this. We're going to take f of x. And again, this is the same thing as saying f of x, separately as that function, f of x divided by the function g of x. And so what we're doing here is we're going to take the 4x squared function and then divide it by the other one. So we're going to say this is 4x squared minus 2x plus 3, and we'll divide that by negative x plus 5. And that is it. So we're just going to leave this like this right here. Now, you might be wondering, we just learned how to divide polynomials, right? So we could try to do some long division here and actually divide negative x plus 5 into this, right? We've already done that. We've done long division. We've done synthetic division. We could see if we can see if that top one factored, so we can cancel something off. In this case, we're just going to leave it, in this form. If you certainly could do some long division here and do it out. If you did, this is what you would get, right? So I did it here for us. If you long divided that, you'd get this whole thing right here, right? You wouldn't need to do that in this problem. So it's okay if you just leave, that problem like this, right? So we have 4x squared minus 2x plus 3 over that for this, for this section. The only thing we want to add to this is that since this new function does have a divisor, it has a denominator here of negative x plus 5, we do want to note that there is a domain change here. Since we cannot divide by 0, right, this negative x plus 5 cannot equal 0 because our denominator can never equal 0. That means that, if I solved for that, that means that x cannot equal positive 5, right? If x was positive 5, then we would be dividing by 0. So that is just something that we're going to qualify here at the end, is we're going to say, here's our new function, but also, as you can see, x cannot equal 5. This is really like the new domain of the thing. That's the one value that we can't plug in.